It's time to meet Clifton.
With your host, Ray Grabowski.
Here's Ray.
Good evening, folks, and welcome to Meet Clifton. Well, the winter season is finally upon us, and we know what that means, hunkering down and spending more time indoors. So to help you stay busy, well-fed, and entertained through the cold weeks ahead, tonight we're going to be talking about food and television with a variety of guests. So stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
Tonight's guests are, from Rutt's Hut, Billy Chrisafinas and Kalliope Vergis. Chef owner of the Bistro Catering, John Thomas. Clifton Cable Channel Station Manager, Mike Solomon. Featuring the music of Swingman and the Misfit Mutts. So sit back, relax, and enjoy another episode of Meet Clifton.
So almost everyone in Clifton has heard of the famous Rutt's Hut. So with us tonight we have family members of Rutt's Hut, Billy Chrisafinas and Kalliope Vergis. I hope I have that right. Those are tough words. And they're family members of Rutt. So we want to learn a little bit about, Rutt's, the history. So how long has your family owned Rutt's Hut?
Our family bought it from Abe Rutt in 1974, so since 74.
Okay, and you've been working there since then?
Give or take.
Give or take. And Kalliope,
since we're kids,
you worked there too?
Since I'm 13, yeah.
Since you're 13. It's a long time. Although, Rutt's is known for their hot dogs and, the sauce, but what else are you famous for?
Well, we have a full menu. We have anything from roast duck to steaks to fish dishes, club sandwiches. We're more than just hot dogs. Essentially, we're a full-service restaurant. We're known for the hot dogs, but we're more than just that.
And I know you also have a dining room. A lot of people don't know that, but that dining room is exactly the same.
Correct.
Probably the day it opened.
Well, the reason that I think most people don't know that is anytime they film something, they usually just film in the front section.
Right.
So people that have never been there, they come in and they see this huge parking lot and all these cars, and they're like, where are all the people? Well, there's a dining room on the back side of the establishment. And then there's two factions, those who know the back and those who don't know the front.
Right.
Only during COVID, everybody had to come to the front because you weren't allowed to sit in the dining room.
Right. But I would think most people come there for the hot dogs, right?
The majority, yes.
Yeah.
But we have everyday customers that aren't eating hot dogs every day.
Yeah, I know, it's true. And
some people like the cheeseburgers dip, like yourself.
I do. I know. And I know they call the hot dogs the Rippers,
yes.
It's really famous. But give me a little about the legacy of Rutt's.
Well,
how's it been the meeting grounds for people for New Jersey, across the country for so many years?
Well, essentially, it's being that it's going on 97 years there. It's everybody that grew up in that area, in the Clifton, Passaic, Nutley, that was like the meeting grounds for everybody. And anytime somebody has moved away out of state or whatever the case may be it reunions or whatever, everyone, we're going to meet at Rutt's Hut. We're going to have a reunion there. Everybody knows the place, and it's nostalgia. It's home, It's got that home feeling to them. They grew up with that, and they come back to that. And that's, you have multiple generations that continue to come there.
And it pretty much looks. I can't remember, but I don't think 21 was there when you originally.
That's before my time, but they built 21. When they built 21, River Road ran behind the establishment.
Right.
Originally, it was in front of the establishment.
Right.
When they built 21, they put the River Road behind the establishment.
Behind us, yeah. But it's pretty much the same thing. I think the only additions I've ever seen is actually the front part, right? Where you actually, people come in every day, or has that always been there?
As far as I remember,
Yeah.
that's the original part of it. You know, it might have been a little smaller maybe, but since I'm a kid, that's the way it's been the same way. The only thing that's new is those digital boards that we put up there.
Yes, it does.
Otherwise, it's, you know, that's just a cosmetic thing. I tell people as long as the food's the same, there's nothing to worry
And
about.
I think, a big attraction has to be that for the truckers because of the parking.
Yes. Well, we have a huge lot.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not just truckers. I mean,
But I'm saying they could come in with a tractor
Sure, you
trailer.
could- yeah,
So
you
for them
could-
coming
a
off
couple
the
of tractor
highway.
trailers,
Yeah, a couple of
absolutely,
tractor, they come off the highways.
Yeah.
And let's just talk a little bit about, you have events there every week in the summer. And I don't want to, you could tell
we
us
do.
about
We
this.
have, on Tuesday nights, we have old cars and, you know, car night there. And on Wednesday night, we have motorcycles there. And we've been doing that since the, late 90s, I would say. And it's just it's every Tuesday and Wednesday. Everybody that, you know, has a car or a bike, they know that Tuesdays, you know, it's going to be a car night. And Wednesday's going to be motorcycles.
And it goes through most of the summer, right? Or probably
It goes
start-
until, you know, the weather breaks, you know. There's no time frame on it. It's just, if it's a nice day, you're going to have more guys come out. And if it's a rainy day or a cold day, not as much. We have guys that come all year long, though.
And I think I saw a sign about the best hot dogs in the country.
We were voted #1 in the United States many years, 6 years in a row.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
saying something. I mean, something
That's a
90s.
testament to the establishment. It's a testament to Clifton. That's what we're known for.
It is, I know.
When you say Clifton, outside of Clifton, people say Rutt's Hut.
And a lot, I'm sure a lot of people come up and they say, oh, I grew up here.
Absolutely. That's my point. Like,
Or they'll bring their grandkids and they'll say, I used to come here and get the hot dogs. And I remember, I don't know if they still do it, but the French fries used to come out on like a cardboard dish. It was like a
paper plate.
Yeah, like a paper plate.
We
but
still do it on a paper
Still the
plate.
same ones?
Still paper
Yeah.
plate, yep. And it's to go, traveling as we say. It's in a brown bag.
And what, just so we know, what are the hours? Are 7 days a week?
7 days a week, Sunday through Thursday, 8 till 10, and Friday and Saturday, Friday and Saturday, 8 till 11. Now, we just changed back hours.
Right.
During COVID, we would only.
Yeah, no,
to
COVID
8, yeah.
kind of hurt everybody.
So we're now extended.
I know you work up front, but
I
She-
do too.
She works.
I see you. I don't know. I don't know who's in the front and who's in the back, because it's almost, if you go into the place, the bar is like almost like alongside it.
It's behind us.
Yeah, it's right behind
Correct.
it. And a lot of people go there for dinner, and they say.
Well, we have daily specials. Like I said, it's more than just hot dogs. I mean,
I mean,
we have
what-
anything from homemade rice pudding, homemade bread pudding. We have a complete menu. It's not just hot dogs.
I know you have fish. I know that, right?
We do. We have fish. We have
I don't
steak.
know if
We
you
have
have duck,
chicken.
I'm not
We
too sure.
roast duck.
Roast duck.
Very well known.
I know. A lot of people told me.
We got
that.
a lot of PR last year about that on NJ.com about hidden gems in establishment only the locals know. First thing that popped up on the webpage was Rutt's Hut and the duck. Everyone's like, "You have duck?" I'm like, yeah,
Yeah, because not that many people do.
It's
it.
been on the menu since the inception. I show people on the wall. We have a menu from the 50s. I'm like, says duck right there. I mean, they're like,
And
"Is
the
that
inside
new?"
is pretty much still the same.
Yes.
Yes.
I mean, you walk in and you go back in time.
The customers don't like. They
But
don't want
anyway,
too much
And
change.
have people ever said to you, gee, how come you don't renovate the outside or do anything?
Yeah.
But-
Yes.
Some people.
Yeah, but I'm sure it's not what you want to do.
Well,
You don't want to.
we're at the point where it's one of those yes, no, like putting the monitors up. There's
Yeah.
people that are they want us to have the old Pepsi signs with that push button, like push the letters in there.
Yeah, I think sometimes you can't change something that's worked.
But it's just a
You're not-
cosmetic
and
thing.
you're not gonna, cosmetically, you're not going to change
At
the
some
outside.
point, we're going to put POS system in it.
Yeah, well.
It's inevitable. I mean, it just makes it easier to. Right now, you have to be very educated to know the system there. So for me to teach yourself to come behind the counter and say, "Okay, Mayor," it's knowledge. It's knowledge that you have. So it's much easier if it's a touchscreen and it says hot dog or
Yeah,
French
sure,
fries
sure.
or cup of chili or Long Island.
Well, you have
duck.
your system, it works.
It does, but
For us, because we've been doing it so
Now,
long.
do you have a lot of other family members that also work with you?
yes,
Yes.
Like everybody, right?
not everybody, but
Hey, listen, it's great though to have a family business because,
it's a tough business.
no, it's not an easy business. Restaurants, it's hard with food. And I know you probably put more hours in than you want to.
Put a lot of
I'm sure
hours.
both of you do put in a lot of hours, but it pays off. And you have probably one of the most famous hot dog places in Clifton. There's
In the country.
Sorry, in the country. So it brings me up to my last thing, and you just want to talk a little bit about it. 100-year anniversary. Okay, it's coming up. You have any plans?
Yes, we're going to
If
have
it's a surprise, don't tell me. But if it's
No,
something
no,
people
it's
should
not.
know.
I mean, we have a few years to figure it out, but for sure we're going to do something. I mean, it's 100 years.
100 years.
It's crazy, right?
Clifton is, I don't know, 107, 100. I forget how old Clifton is. It's 107 years old. How old is it, Jim?
105.
105
Oh,
years.
wow, so we're not far
Okay,
behind.
so Rutt's Hut opened right after Clifton was established.
Really? Yeah.
So,
Wow.
so it'd be nice to have something.
Of course, we get that for
special.
sure.
And of course, your 100
pull out all the stops for
100
that one.
anniversary, the city will give you proclamation.
Yeah.
And we'll do some nice things. We'll publicize it, and maybe we could come out and you could do some
Oh, we'll do definitely.
specials.
We'll have everybody on board. All the vendors will be on board for that.
And believe me, 4 years is going to go really quickly.
Like
So,
I was saying earlier, I remember as a kid saying that we're here 75 years. Like now I'm saying, we're here 96 years going on our 97th year.
it's a long time.
Like,
And yeah, for the building to be there, Jesus,
Yeah.
that's great. And, I mean, I'm glad you came on and explained a little bit about Rutt.
Yeah, no,
for us, I think their faces are familiar because I stop in there. They know my order, so I'm not worried. But I appreciate it.
Well, thanks
good
for
luck,
having
good
us.
luck.
Thanks for
Hopefully, the
having
next
us.
4 years are prosperous.
3 years. We'll be there 3 years now.
Oh,
After this year, it'll be 3 years.
3 years. Okay, so hopefully
2028, we're
hope you
going
do
for
something
100.
special.
We will.
And invite
we
the
hope
whole
to have
city,
everyone there joining us.
We have another ribbon cutting or something, for 100 years. It'd be perfect. I
be
appreciate
great.
it.
Thanks,
Thank you
guys.
very much,
Thank
both of you,
you.
for coming on.
Appreciate it.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Hello, Clifton and friends, and welcome to the updates. I'm Sharon Corbanix, and happy to share some news with you today. The Boys and Girls Club of Clifton asks all who are able to donate for their end-of-year donation drive. And to do so, please call 973-773-0966. And the Theater League of Clifton is proud to announce their new upcoming performance entitled Girls Night Out. And the show will run from February 15th through March 2nd. So be sure to visit thetheaterleagueofclifton.com for tickets and more information. And it should be very intriguing with a twist at the end. And the Recreation Department invites residents 65 years and up to attend a health and exercise class Tuesdays from December 31st through February 4th. And these classes are designed for active seniors who are looking to stay active and healthy. And if exercise isn't your cup of tea, the Recreation Department also invites you to come along to the Philadelphia Flower Show trip on March 1st and reminds you that the entrance fee will cover not only the flower show, but the charter bus transportation as well, which will meet at the Senior Center here at City Hall at 8:45 a.m. sharp. So please call for more information on this and other events. So please visit www.cliftonrec.com or call 973-470-5946 or visit the Recreation Department at City Hall on 2nd floor. And thank you again for your attention and time, and we will see you around the neighborhood soon, and we hope you enjoy the upcoming holidays, or if you've had enjoyed them before, well, hopefully you'll have more time to enjoy with family, friends, and neighbors. So thank you again for tuning in.
Okay, so welcome back. So tonight with us we have, I guess, a semi-famous chef from Clifton who's on the show Chopped, which we will talk about later. He has a business called the Bistro Catering. He's a chef, he's the owner. So firstly, what interested you in becoming a chef?
So this is, the Reader's Digest version of it is, I was always messing around with cooking even in high school, But in high school, growing up, I was a musician. So like I did a lot of shows and stuff like that, being a drummer. I really wanted to go to Artists to New York City. I got accepted to that one, and a month before I went to school, they cut the culinary program. A month before I went in, and I was like, this is crazy. I was always working restaurants, as a bartender, or like serving or something like that growing up. But, when I did a lot of shows and touring and stuff like that, that was kind of like the backup plan of it. A bunch of years later, after my last band, I was like, all right, let me, change it up a little bit. Let me see what's going on. And I actually took my first like real full kitchen job actually at Zimberger in Clifton. I was one of the first key hourlies hired over there. Started cooking, still dabbling here and there with music, and then I had my first kid, Leah. Not this one. My first kid, Leah. And then from there, it's like, I'm not Justin Bieber, so I got to pay the bills. And it's more of like, it's the same thing. It's an entertainment business. So I wanted to make sure that I'm making the best money I could.
Right.
So I did everything and anything. And it really started to get to me. And, being that was my first cook job, and I was there for, 3.5 years, seeing the other chefs that I was training for other locations from like Caesar's Palace, the W Hotel, Ryland Inn, and they're telling me, you're really good at this, and I did not know what I was doing. I was like, something's making sense here. So, growing up like that, I didn't come from food. I didn't have it like that. I didn't have the, father in the kitchen, known in the kitchen like that, the special sauces. I just kind of dabbled here and there, My
But
dad was,
you have to like to eat, though, right?
I mean, listen, I definitely love eating. And that's a big one. Everyone always asks me that kind of stuff. And I don't really, it's food. I love food.
Yeah, you have to.
I love food. I love ingredients. That's my thing. So
Yes, it's sort of like you're an artist.
I'm an
In
entertainer.
essence, it's an art. So the name of your is Bistro Catering.
Yep.
Any particular reason? It's just-
So originally, this company was called Not Your Average Bistro, and I wanted to do it as a food truck. For me to be able to, so the word bistro, for me, it's a versatile name. Right. So you could kind of do anything you want out of there. Bistro is very modern, New American, but New American is very fusion style. Right. So being Not Your Average Bistro, I was like, yeah, let's do this. And my lady's like, no, that doesn't sound right. I was like, so what do you have? And then she sent me a logo where she spelled it Beastro. I'm like, the Beast, that's perfect. The Bistro. Right. I was like, hold on a second. Coming up as a skateboarder and, being a, metalhead, back in the day, I was like, take the E and put it backwards. Why? Because it's unconventional. Right. And that explains, a lot about me. But the real meaning behind the bistro, this is one of the meanings. One of 4 meanings. Right here. Right? Yeah?
Is he a good cook?
Yeah.
Okay.
The bistro it's family. I know it's, a big, Vin Diesel thing to say, but it's really based off of my family. It's based off of, being the beast in the kitchen and doing what I believe in, which is the same thing I want my, the kids to understand as well, because it's very difficult right now. So I want them to understand this is the way to be you. Express yourself. For me, this is how I do it as an entertainer.
And as they get older, they could all be part of the family business, and that's a nice thing to develop something. That
I mean, especially
they can
this
really
one.
go for.
She's a monster in the kitchen. We recently did a festival in upstate New York for my buddy who owns Spice Beast. It was a hot sauce festival. It was first time doing it. Bunch of different hot sauce companies. He just wanted me as a judge for the hot sauce. It's like, all right, no problem. And he's like, oh, but do a vendor spot. I met him at the Trenton Punk Rock Flea Market, and I got to know him because my Nashville chicken sandwich that I do, it's an Asian style that last year I got top 10 NorthJersey.com with. I got number 8 last year for 2023.
That ties. I have a question. What's the most unusual thing you've made? Is that what we're talking about, or we have?
So that's not fully the most unusual thing I've made, and that's a very bizarre. It's like a very wide question.
I'm sure.
But get back up to that. This one for this festival, huge outcome for this. So many people. She looks over at me at one point as she's writing down orders. She's like, Dad, I can't. I was like, all right, no problem. Just watch what's going on in the fryer real quick. I started taking down orders. We look up. She's busting out like 15 orders of this chicken sandwich, which is very hard to accomplish. Busting out like 15 orders. And everyone's looking like, then she looks at me. She's like, why am I doing this? Right?
get paid though, right?
How much you make that day?
Hope you-
Like 60.
I think
Okay.
you made like $60, $70 that day. It was crazy.
Listen, you have to take care of people.
Oh,
at work, and I'm
100%.
sure you do. I don't care
100%.
family or not. People, they work, they get paid.
100.
That's
Oh yeah, everyone
Yeah,
does.
of course, that's.
Nothing's for free.
I agree.
100%.
So I guess sometimes I know you'll go to people's homes and you'll do parties and things like
Yeah.
that. So you get a lot of like dietary restrictions because right today with the
Yeah.
everybody's allergic to this or that.
Yeah, so, two of them, especially this one, especially myself as well, like lactose, okay? My stepson's on the spectrum, so it was a lot of, texture issues. I service private jets within the tri-state area. I actually ran one of the largest private jet catering companies in the nation prior to 2020. So between religious and dietary restrictions, it was my biggest thing. Beginning of this year, I actually started a meal prep company, taking my knowledge in nutrition and ingredients, stuff like that, and putting that to my food. Really difficult. I was doing good for a little bit. That's a whole nother game, is meal prepping.
Well, you have lactose, vegan, you have
Exactly.
gluten, you have vegan, and there's probably 5 different forms.
There's
of it.
like every day I'm meeting a new challenge for myself, and for me, I see it more as a challenge, and I'm ready for it.
Sure.
So when it comes to dietary restrictions, I'm very open to it. It's like almost being on Chopped. It's now narrowing down the ingredients I'm allowed to use to come up with something that blows their mind.
So that brings me to my I wanted to get to this question as the last one I'm saying
Yeah.
is, so what was it like being on Chopped? Because it's a pretty famous show.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Being on Chopped was a nice experience. I say more, it was exhausting. We had to get there at 4:30 in the morning, and it was blistering cold out, absolutely cold. It was a week before Christmas, and we were there all day. But for the most part, it's just another time to just cook. And I explained to everyone, on Mondays, I cook for, anywhere between 8 to 10 people every single time. We got 4 kids at home, myself and my lady. Sometimes people coming over, so we're always cooking a lot, and we're always trying to change it up.
We're all coming over.
So it's always about mixing and matching different stuff, and sometimes I'll throw them a nice curveball. We've had ramen before, right? We've had a lot of different styles of food inside the house. So it was, it's like being on Chopped every single Monday for me.
Yeah.
But for the most part, it was a great experience. It was nice to meet other chefs from literally different states.
Sure.
For me, the ingredients, I knew majority of the ingredients on it for sure. But, I was happy with everything I put out, and I think everyone else, especially on the show, was happy with what I put out.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
So, yeah, no, it was definitely a good time.
Because, throughout the United States, there's a lot of chefs. So to get picked for that show.
It was definitely a process. When they told me about it, they're like, yeah, we saw this, and you sent this about a year ago. I was like, that's funny. I've sent like 4 other ones in between that. So I'm like, I'm glad you saw at least one of them. But yeah, it's definitely a nice one. And actually, most recently, I don't know if you've heard of David Burke. He's actually one of the forefathers of New York City steakhouses. He's got a bunch of different restaurants in New York, New Jersey, and he started a new series called Beat David Burke, like Beat Bobby Flay. So I took him on at his Bernardsville location, and I beat him.
No kidding.
Yeah. So
I know it's great.
we're working our way up on this.
Listen, it's nice to know we have famous people in Clifton, and obviously we're going to run to you somewhere where we're going to force you to cook. For us.
Absolutely, I'm always around.
Someplace.
Like you said, I as a private chef, what I do is I go to people's houses.
Yeah, and that's good to know.
It's more in person for people. It's a lot more comfortable.
Right, and we'll probably list your number here because
Absolutely.
I don't want to get fully into it, but I just want people to know that he will come to your house for occasions. And there's a lot of big occasions, party or festival, and he comes to your house and he does it all. And
Absolutely.
that's big, especially for people who can't cook or want something.
I heard for one of your barbecues, you're going to have me over here too.
Oh, sure, of course. We will. But no, John, I'd like to thank you, and of course your daughter for coming on. We appreciate it. Good luck with that, and
Appreciate
I'm
it.
sure you'll be cooking for a long time.
Absolutely.
Thank you
guys
very
so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Stay
it.
tuned. We'll be right back. So welcome back. So tonight with us, we have the man behind the scenes, the person who makes all of this possible, our station manager, Mike Solomon, City Hall, has been with us for a while. He is our station manager, and we figured it's time that we bring him up front. We find out a little bit about what he does for the city of Clifton. So what does a station manager do, Mike?
Yeah, that's a good question. So obviously they manage the station, right? That's that's one thing. But our primary function and focus is on the municipal meetings, the planning board meeting, the zoning meeting, the council meeting, getting that coverage to the citizens, making sure that it's available the next morning, making sure that it's available for any Oprah requests and so forth and so on. Beyond that is, sort of public outreach, covering events and different things and sort of bringing the city of Clifton into people's homes if they're unable to make it.
Right. Yeah, and you cover, the outdoor concerts.
Oh, yeah.
Things like
Very proud of
special
those.
events, parades.
Correct, yes.
Well, actually, anything you see on TV, pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much.
is
Yeah,
you.
you run credits for most things, so if you see my name, it's likely that I was involved from beginning to end, and most things are, yeah.
So how'd you get started with the CATV?
So actually, I was looking for a volunteer program. I was looking to spend some time doing something volunteering. And I did volunteering in Clifton, and wouldn't you know, the Clifton cable TV show. And then I was invited to a taping only, of an episode of a show called Meet Clifton. Great show, I don't know if you've seen it. And there was a cameraman missing, and they said, hey, can you jump behind the camera? And here I am. That's pretty much how it happened.
You've been this a couple of years.
Yeah, that was in January of 2020.
Wow.
So, yeah, and then the world turned upside down, and I stuck it out, and here we are.
And it's still still running. The show is still running, and you do
Absolutely.
a great job. We made some changes, changed some sets and stuff. You made a lot of great suggestions. But what other things have you tried to accomplish in the past 4 years?
I think one of the big focuses is something actually that you mentioned when we did the dedication of Enzaldi Park, which is, why is it that we're waiting until people pass away to honor them and to show, the community who's helping us, who's building us, who's forming the city itself.
Right.
So that's been a focus, to try to focus on things like the art center, where we can blend a little bit of entertainment with showing you really who's around the local area and paying tribute to those who make the city run.
And we recently, Mr. Mullen,
That's right.
we did a
That's right, yeah.
dedication. He's a 50-year volunteer, I think it was.
Correct. Yeah, still going.
And he had a stone or something, a plaque in the park dedicated to him.
Yeah.
And it's important because I believe, if they do something, they should appreciate it.
Sure.
Because we can appreciate it if they're not here, but to do it while they're still here, it shows respect.
Sure.
And,
Absolutely.
and it's an honor, for them to get this, and it's an honor for us to give it.
Right. And one of the other things too that, like I said, is trying to modernize the channel a little bit.
Right.
We like stability. We like things to be kind of steady. We like things to be presented in a certain way. But we also want to push the envelope. We want to make things a little bit more entertaining. We want to make them more engaging, bring people back to the station again and again.
Right. Because there are people that keep the station on most of the day.
Sure, yeah.
And, they want to get information, and they do, and, there's good programming, and, we're doing more and more all the time.
I actually get calls from certain folks in town that tell me that the program is too good and they can't go to sleep at night because overnight we play our concerts.
Yeah,
we
and
play
you do.
Dean Martin and all the oldies, and the folks really love that.
Yeah, and people do it. They like that. So, you have any moments that you're particularly proud of?
Yeah, well, we're actually very fond of our summer concert series.
Yeah,
There's a lot of good bands that play there. And actually last year in 2023, we won a Jersey Access Group Award.
Oh, really? Wow.
For one of the shows that we did there. So that was a big highlight for me. It was something that we kind of worked hard on and spent some extra time on, and it paid off.
Right. And I know recently they just redid the studio here too, right?
That's correct, yeah.
put
So
all new equipment.
during also my tenure here, we were able to renovate the courthouse so that we can have a better picture quality for all of our municipal meetings.
Right.
We also renovated the studio here, just again trying to make things a little bit more modern.
And I appreciate that, and so do the people at home.
Yeah.
And lastly, so what's next for the cable TV?
Yeah, I think onwards and upwards. Again, we want to be steady, but we want to create, new programs and new things that will interest people, and again, showcasing what's out there and who's making the city run. And I think one of the big focuses going forward is going to be finding that balance between a municipal channel that gives you all of the information that you need, communicates with local citizens, but also entertains you. And
Right.
so hopefully we can keep that going.
No, it's good. And, not every city has
That's right.
a cable TV show.
That's right.
In fact, I don't know how many, but it's not a lot.
It's not a lot, certainly not the majority. So
With
we're very lucky.
564, 65 municipalities, I would say,
Maybe 30.
maybe 30
Yeah.
that actually have it. And it's good and it's bad because all our council meetings and all the board meetings are shown at home, which is a nice thing because people, get to see what's going
Yeah, people
on.
like to be informed, and not everyone can make it to the meetings. It's good for them to be able
Right.
to have the information anyway.
Right, and we've done a lot with that, as far as the quality, and you do a great job. And
Thank
so
you.
I just thought it was important that we finally meet Mike from back here, and I know he takes criticism and he accepts different ideas from people. And if someone does have something, I'm sure they do from time to time.
Oh, yes.
Email you say, can you try this? Can you try that? And that's good. It's not like it's not wanted. You could always have some good ideas. So we appreciate all you do for us, Mike, especially
you
for
very
the
much.
show. You've helped us out greatly. The show has
Thanks for
changed
having me.
immensely in 7 or 8 years. So I thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Hey, pretty baby, don't you hear the band upon deck? You hear the hit beat with the backbeat. Don't you see the gang is grooving? You gotta get your body moving. You gotta slap, flop, flip, flop, hip hop never stop.
Okay, well, that's our show for tonight. We thank everyone for tuning in tonight. We hope you enjoyed the show. As always, be good to your friends and family. Respect your neighbors. This is a great city. Keep Clifton close to your heart. I'd like to thank you, and from all of us,
Merry Christmas,
Happy Holidays.